This podcast was recorded on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation.
Hello and welcome to The Real Story with Joe Hildebrand, our very special summer series with my other half, my hive mind, my life coach, my everything, my
The only
east
one
and
who
west.
answered his call over the holidays. Hi, Joe
The
Hildebrand.
only one who's going to come on the show pro bono.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Sarah Harris, how are you?
Hi, great. What a year, huh?
Oh, I'm over it.
Are you?
I'm over it.
We
Yeah.
had some high points, though.
Which is good. Everyone's over it. It's 2025.
I
so.
know, right. Had some high points, didn't we?
Yeah, just run through what they were again.
Well, depending on where you stand politically, Donald
Oh,
Trump.
yes. No, that was good. That was awesome. And it was awesome, I thought. My very diplomatic position on Trump is not that he deserved to win, but the Democrats deserved to lose. They stuffed it up so badly. They screwed it up so badly. They gaslit the American people and the world for so long about Joe Biden's health and then put in that Kamala. I want to be the nation's mamala. Do you know, I already had it planned out. If Kamala Harris won, I was going to get back on Twitter after years of swearing it off and saying I never would. I was going to get back on Twitter and just to do the hashtag not my mamala.
You were already talking about the T-shirts. I remember getting some T-shirts. I don't know about you, but for me, the big turning point was that disastrous debate with Joe Biden.
Yes.
And I remember watching the media reporting that debate.
Yeah.
And I think they were saying, Donald Trump makes lame jokes about his golfing and da-da-da-da-da. It's like he's standing across from a half-dead guy and that's the angle you're taking?
Yeah.
And I think there was a real kind of wake-up call around then that perhaps the media hadn't been too truthful with the way it had been reporting
That's right.
around
Well, I think-
Donald Trump. And I think people were just jack of it.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think it got to the point where it was in such clear and present light. Like this was no longer just pro-Trump people putting around memes of Biden with his eyes closed or falling asleep or talking to
remember
pot
at the
plants.
time.
This was
Remember when that was happening, and we would make jokes
that's
about,
right.
and we were told we
And
were
everyone
being
was just saying,
ableist.
that's right, and everyone would just say,
you
no,
can't
that's just
believe your
propaganda, that's
eyes.
just
It's
it.
like, no, but we actually
And
have
then suddenly
eyes.
it is all happening in real time, not just on Fox News or Twitter or Truth Social or whatever. It's actually happening in a live televised debate for all the world to see. And everyone's seen it and gone, huh? That's the leader of the free world. And then when the usual MSNBC, CNN types start to make excuses, people go, hang on a minute. No, I know what I saw. And then people and then there was this crazy, it got even crazier because then when people started to break cover, like George Clooney, came out and said, look,
That's right.
I got to tell you, the guy's not right. He's slipping.
After months of saying this guy
That's
is
right.
at his sharpest he's ever
even
been.
then, you would still have crazy Democratic activists all over Twitter, all over online going, that's it, George Clooney's a traitor, George Clooney is Satan,
Yep.
he needs to be banned from whatever. Like, what do you ban George Clooney from? Lake Como? But anyway, so they do all this. So they're still going feral, still saying black is white, right up until the point, that the Democrats actually do the old switcheroo. And they've waited so long that there's no one they can even replace him with except Kamala Harris, who is the least successful primary candidate in US political history, because she's the one on the ticket, and if they don't put it to someone else on the same ticket,
to
they
give all the
lose
money
all their
back.
money.
But
like, how could you screw something up this much? I don't get it. It still makes me angry.
Well,
it's 2025.
how many? More than $1 billion she raised, I think, in campaign funds.
Yeah, and just blew it all.
Actually, and is in $20 million in the red as well.
Unbelievable.
Had the whole of Hollywood behind her,
Which was a mistake.
supporting her. Oh, well, that's just kind of how it works, right? But completely missed what the American people were feeling.
That's right. And they were feeling, what was it, $28,000 a year worse off than they were.
They good, hardworking people who just want to make a decent life for themselves and for their families and to make their kids' lives just a little bit better than
That's right.
theirs is right now. And they were just sick of being told, I think. There's been this convergence as well of, I think, kind of political correctness. Anytime that the working class complained, they were told to shut up. They were being
they're just
sexist and
ignorant.
racist
They're
and
just ignorant.
ignorant
They're
and
not
transphobic.
educated.
And it's like, no, I just want to be able to feed my kid. I just want to be able to, put my kid through university. I just want to be able to buy a house.
Well, you know what they should have fed their kids? Joy. Because that's what Kamala Harris brought. I'm going to bring joy.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want joy. I want money.
Yeah.
I want, I
And
want my
the
cousin to stop taking fentanyl and stealing my college jar.
And the non-answers. I mean, she had a golden run from the media for a good couple of months, really, before they asked any hard questions of her. It was shocking, the whole
terrible.
scenario. How do you think Trump will go? How do you think it kind of blows my mind that he is Times Person of the Year.
Yep.
Like
Again,
who does,
another comeback.
right?
A comeback within a comeback.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, the first assassination attempt.
Mm-hmm.
That I watched that play out on TV. It was actually my birthday.
What a present.
What a present! But it was fascinating to see him get up,
It was
air punch, fight.
This is the
that
thing.
that incredible photo with the flag flying behind him, blood across his ear.
Incredible.
And then to sort of hear I remember speaking to a.
But was it really an assassination attempt?
Well, that's right. We actually had interviewing a. I was interviewing an ex Dem.
Strategist.
Dem strategist, and he was saying that the word is it was all fake. And I'm
Oh, is that
like,
the word, is it? Oh, that's the word.
We saw it again with our own eyes.
Can you
We
put that in
saw-
it? Could you do like an academic treatise on that, and say, this was all fake, and then you have a little footnote 1, and then you go to the footnote at the bottom of the thing, source, the word.
Yeah, that's it.
The Dems, of course, you don't know why they do it because, like, when you live in an imaginary world, eventually reality sort of catches up with you. So they're telling themselves, oh, no, Kamala's ahead. No, she's doing fine. No, this is great. Everything's going fine,
As if you'd ever believe a poll
And
ever again.
That's
Twice now they've been wrong.
That's right. But even if you look at, and this is the other thing I didn't get, like, even if you did look at the polls, even if you looked at, say, Real Clear Politics, right, and the polling average in the battleground states,
Or 538.
it had Trump winning. This is the thing. Like, it didn't pick him winning as much as he did, right? So they were out, they were wrong. But it still had Trump getting up. It still had by far the most likely outcome.
That was discounted, remember? It was discounted
That's right.
because it was too right-wing.
That's right. And everyone's saying, oh, no, but they thought that in the midterms and the red. And so you have all these people who think they're too smart by half. They think that they are the educated elites and that anyone who doesn't vote the way they want them to is too stupid or, quote, not educated enough, like with The Voice. Oh, they voted no because they just weren't educated. And
Telling people they're racist for a whole year probably won't help
hey,
your
you
chances.
racist immigrants, vote for The Voice.
Yeah.
Because, of course, it was all high immigrant, multicultural suburbs that voted no. But
It
anyway,
also had overwhelming support at the very start
but
when it was launched
that's
by
right.
Anthony Albanese
That's right.
as well.
And then as soon as the campaign started, they just drove that support into the ground because
Yeah.
it sounded like a bunch of stupid, smug, out of touch cultural elites telling other people what to think. Anyway, the exact same thing pretty much happened in the US election where you had elites on the East and West Coast having no idea what people in middle America, working class middle America, were actually experiencing and going through and telling themselves they were all going to win. Now, again, you've got a cost of living crisis. They're going through the same thing over there that we're going through over here. Plus, they've got, a massive opioid crisis as well. They've got a homelessness crisis that is just out of control in the American major cities. And you've got Kamala talking about bringing the joy. Like, what is this? A tentpole evangelist, snake charming? What the actual is she talking
I found
about?
that less galling than the constant rhetoric that we were going to see Hitler 2.0. That Trump is literally Hitler.
It's like literally Hitler.
He's literally a fascist.
You know
It's
who
like,
else
that
was
is
Time Person of the Year?
Hitler.
Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so interesting in that the latest Time magazine piece for 2024, Kellyanne Conway, who was Trump's strategist in 2016, really had an interesting insight into him. She says that he's a complicated man with really simple but powerful ideas when most politicians, are simple men with complicated ideas. I think what he really he took the temperature of the people. He took the temperature,
and I
cost
think,
of living, immigration, crime. That's all he was focused on.
Yeah, that's right. And I think he also took it. There's a great Scottish comedian called Kevin Bridges who basically just said, Trump is just like any old man in a pub talking about how society's gone to the dogs, or any Glasgow taxi driver saying, I'll tell you what's wrong with the world today. Except, unlike other politicians, Trump just has no filter. So he just takes what he hears or takes what he senses and says, right, and again, I'm going to build a wall and I'm going to make them pay for it. And everyone else would just say, well, that's just crazy. That's ridiculous. That'll never happen. And Trump just goes, who cares? But you never tried it. I'm just going to do it.
But here's the twist, right? And this is the thing.
And then when I don't do it, I'm just going to say that I did it anyway.
Well, that's right, because he actually didn't really build much of the wall.
Well, there was kind of a wall already there anyway.
Yeah, and he was kind of fixing up some holes. But he's got Susie Wiles, who was she was Reagan's. She worked with Reagan back in the day. Hugely experienced political operative. But what's going to be different this time round? He does seem, now that he's kind of got the overwhelming will of the people to enact a mandate.
Mandate.
Yeah, it does seem like he's calmer. And I wonder if the media, like in the States, which is pretty left-leaning besides Fox, will get out of his way and let him do his job. Because do you remember when he was first elected, all that we heard for the first year of his presidency was that the Russia stuff, the dossier that never existed, like that. We just forget about that. We forget about that whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, people, again, and it just comes to people just making up narratives to suit their own thing. Like what they first tried to do when he got elected last time is say it was illegitimate because Hillary Clinton won the popular vote.
That's right.
Then there was all these Supreme Court injunctions to stop him doing his, Muslim immigration bans, quote unquote. And again, it went on and on and on and on. Then there was that, again, hashtag not my president, which gave birth to the almost was hashtag not my mamala. And I think now the scales have actually peeled back. Now it's not a fluke. Firstly, he won the popular vote by a country mile. I haven't checked the last numbers. It may even be a record in US presidential history. It's certainly
No, it would have been higher than Reagan.
No, the popular vote, the highest ever one was Biden, and the second highest was Trump in 2020. Those are the two highest popular votes. And Trump already has got more, I think, than he got last time, and he might have pipped Biden. But anyway, point being, there's no excuses anymore. He won all 7 swing states. He won the Senate, won the House of Representatives, he's won the White House, and for good measure, I think he won the majority of governorships that were up for election. So we are talking an absolute clean
There was
sweep.
a huge lurch to the right because people are just desperate for change.
That's right, and I think the left doesn't realise how repellent it looks. And I say this as someone who is, I'm a Labor guy, I am of the centre left, but you look at people in Australia, the Greens and the Teals say, and you look at the similar types of people who are infiltrating the Democrats in the US, and these people just look pretentious, they look snooty, they look like they're looking down on people and talking down to people. And when you come from a working class background, or myself, I come from a welfare class background.
Same.
We aspired to be working class.
Yeah.
You feel that. You know that. It's like a dog sniffing the aliens and barking before the humans know what's happening. You know when people are talking down to you and saying they know what's better for you. And people hate it. And they hate it when you're talking about other things and not talking about what you are going through. So when people talk, and again, I'm all in on climate change, I completely believe in it, but when that's all people talk about and say this is the biggest crisis facing America right now and we have to do something about it and sacrifice anything else to fix this problem, and you're there and you're going backwards and you think you're going to lose the House, that is going to piss you off and you are going to vote for anyone except that person.
Well, it's like having this kind of the thought about democracy was a very big topic of debate during the election.
Yep.
It feels like a bit of a pie in the sky issue when you're living day to day. Well, actually, not living, you're surviving day to day, and you just want that fixed. One thing for America to have Trump in office, but what does it mean for us? I mean, there's a lot of talk about tariffs.
Yeah, tariffs will be fine. No, I think Biden kept
all of the tariffs that Donald
Might
Trump
have
put on in
raised a couple.
2016. Well, he did actually.
Yeah,
he
right.
lifted a couple to 100% on China.
That's right. And again, Trump's whole thing is, I mean, first that people go on about the threat to democracy thing. He's not a threat to democracy. January 6th was appalling and terrible, and it was an awful thing for him to do. But the White House didn't fall, the transition of power took place, and the people who died were overwhelmingly the idiot protesters who stormed the Capitol. So, so the real thing that you have to understand, and this again speaks to the sort of snobbery and out of touchness of the people who are trying to gauge Trump and get a feel for him. They go, he's Hitler, he's Hitler, he's Hitler. No, he's not. He's Vince McMahon. He's WWE. This guy is show business. He's a showman. He's put, they went on about the Madison Square Garden thing, how it's just like a Nazi rally. So no, it's like a wrestling match.
Yeah.
And they didn't know because they'd never been to one.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was literally a character in WWE. He was his own character as himself in professional wrestling. It's all right there in front of them, but because they're going out and having, watercress sandwiches and kale salads or whatever it is that posh people eat, they're just not aware of this world at all. They just don't recognize it. Yeah. Whereas everyone in Middle America goes, right, yep, got it. I know that guy. He's the good character who gets in the ring, clotheslines the bad guy, and then everything's okay. I mean, he had Vince McMahon. Didn't he have Vince McMahon's wife actually working on his campaign?
He's kind of smart like a fox in that you never know which way he's going to go, right? And I just wonder if Kevin Rudd, your old mate, is the right ambassador to the US to have.
I think it will be fun because, again, people say, Donald Trump's so dangerous. He says he's going to do all these things. But you have to, once you see it purely from a professional wrestling perspective, you get it. You go, right. Donald Trump is the guy who says, in the ring, says, I'm going to take that guy, I'm going to pick him upside down, I'm going to throw him, I'm going to belt him with a chair, he'll be crying for his mommy, and then when he begs me to stop, I'm going to smash him again, all right?
Yeah.
And it's all choreographed, it's all theatre, and it's all just so the audience feels secure that the right guy's going to win, or if it's the bad guy talking up the big game, that they're going to get what's coming to them, right? And so Donald Trump talks up this stuff like tariffs on China, talks up this, Kevin Rudd, I heard he was a nasty guy or whatever it is, But he's not going to do anything. And Australia can't withdraw it. We can't let America tell us what to do. We just leave him there. And again, Trump will cop anyone who just says sorry. Now, sorry will be a very hard word for Kevin Rudd to say. But if he pays him due respect, I mean...
He doesn't play golf, which kind of sucks for Rudd. But I wonder if he can do the YMCA dance.
I wonder if Donald Trump plays handball. Anyway, I think we solved all the world's problems. Part 2. Donald Trump. There you go. Everything you need to know about the great man, the Orange Man.
Orange Man bad?
Orange Man good. Or at least
Orange
Man fun.
He's definitely fun. He's definitely funny.
Yeah.
Let's see how the next 4 years pans out.
I hope we're here to find out. I think these last 4 years on Earth will be really fun. And that's all we have time for this week. Thanks so much for your company. Of course, drop us a line at therealstory@novapodcast.com.au if there's anything you'd like to talk to us about or any questions you'd like answered, anything you'd like us to look into. And, of course, you can leave a review or a rating. I'm not sure which platform it is that you're on, but it only accepts 5 stars. I can't stress that enough. Don't even bother trying anything lower than that. You can read me every Monday and Saturday in the Daily Telegraph and all the News Corp papers around the country. And you can hit me up on the gram at Joe_Hildebrand and send me a message, slide into my DMs, and of course you'll get a post every time there's a new episode out. But until then, I'll see you next week.